Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tofunmi and I'm the creative director of Awolewa. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful bridal handfan. If this is something you would like to learn, please watch this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. See you guys in the video. For the materials I'm going to need, I'm going to be using this sewable boning. I'm going to be needing bias tapes. I'm going to be using a threaded needle. This trimmings is very optional. In fact, I ended up not using it, so it's very optional. And then this carton, you can just use any carton that you find around. And of course, your tool nets and your sample nets if you are using any. So this hand fan is going to have 4 rings, and the first, please ignore the noise. And the first thing I'm going to do is to cut out the rings. So for the rings, I'm going to be working with 20 inches of this sewable boning. Please ensure that you use sewable boning because we'll be needing a bit of tacking. After cutting out the 4, I'm going to take this tip and I'm going to stitch it together. However, if you have candle wax, you can use candle wax to melt it together. So you can even use a paper tape. All you just need is for it to form a circle like this. After that, I'm going to use my bias tape to wrap it round. We just need to cover all of the edges to make it look very fine and beautiful. So I'm going to stitch it up and I'm going to do the same for the remaining 3. After which, the next thing I'm going to do is to wrap it around with the 2 nets as I've done like this. I'm so sorry, I didn't know that this video was out of frame the whole time I was wrapping. I'm sincerely sorry. So I'm going to wrap it around like this and make sure that it is not too tight, but at the same time it has to be firm so that it doesn't start giving up some weird shape. And then again, I'm going to stitch it together with needle and thread. The next thing I'm going to do now is to mark out my carton. So I'm working with 8 inches for both sides. That is, it's going to have 2 parts, 2 sides rather, one for the front, one for the back. So what I have on the carton here is 16 inches, which I'm going to divide into 2 to give me 2 8 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to find the midpoint of 1/2 of the carton. I'm supposed to cut it out, but just for the purpose of this tutorial, I decided to just use it like that. So the midpoint is 4 inches. So I'm going to rule a straight line. Just this line is just to serve as a guide for what I'm about to do. Now, after doing this, that means I have 4 on both sides, right? I'm not going to determine how high I want the order to be. That is completely dependent on you. You can make it higher. In fact, even this 8 inches width, it is completely dependent, so you can make it wider. But note that if you're making it wider, that means that it's going to have more rings, not just 4 rings, so that it looks fuller and beautiful. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to the height is 4 inches, so I'm going to connect it to the tip of both sides. That's how I'm going to do it. Now let's cut out what we have marked. So now after cutting this out, I'm going to use it to cut out the other side so that we have 2 sides. The next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the lining part first. I'm cutting out the lining part first, so I'm going to use the lining part to cut out the main lace, and I'm going to add extra inches. The extra inches is for folding of the tips and the edges because we are using gum, like I said earlier. So now I'm using the lining, like I said, to cut out the main fabric. This is the fabric that is going to be seen on the outside, and the reason why I'm lining it is because this lace is transparent. If you're using a fabric that is not transparent, you don't need to line it. You can just go directly and place it on your cardboard like that. So after I've done cutting out the lining piece and the main piece, what I'm going to go ahead and do is to gum it. I'm using hot gun. You are going to use hot gun. I've not tried other types of gum, but the one that I've tried is the hot gum. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place it gently like so, using the allowance. This is why I made sure that there was extra allowance. And as you've seen, I had to gum the lining piece first. Then I'm now going to gum the lace, the net rather, on it. So having done that, the next thing I'm going to do is to come back to the rings that we have made, and now I'm going to place the rings gently and quietly. Please ensure that you do not press down your rings, because pressing it down is going to give it another shape that you might not like. So please be careful when placing the rings together. The first thing you're going to do is to arrange it the way you want it to be, that is the spaces that you want to be between the rings, and then you're going to carefully take your needle and thread, your threaded needle. You're going to use it to attach it one after the other, to attach the rings together one after the other. You're going to do this before gumming it to the cardboard. And now after you've attached it with needle and thread, this is to keep it in space. You're now going to use your gum to place it. Again, do not press it down, just leave it to be in a space. Then the next thing you're going to do is that the other side you're going to attach gum to it also and use it to cover it up. Again, do not press it down. I'm emphasizing on this not pressing it down because I've tried it before and it gave a very, very weird shape. So after I've done that, this is exactly what I have. So what I'm doing right now is that I just got a cardboard to cover the lower parts. If you use copper wire, you might not need to cover the lower parts because it's going to fall flat. But because I used boning, sewable boning, and that I did not want to press, I wanted it to just stand. So I'm just going to use this cardboard to cover the lower part that is open and give it a perfect shape. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. After I covered it at the lower part, the only thing I just did was just to add these pearls to it, these studs rather to it, and there we go. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you have any video requests, please do not hesitate to drop them in the comment section and I'll be so sure to film on them. Bye guys.